what about this in this economy? Where is this an idea that lasts? Does it make sense? Are we going to still be around? What we've actually found is our sales are not dropping off. We're getting a lot of people that are moving and downscaling. We're getting a lot of people that are maybe wanting to have family members be a part of their house now because they might need to do that. We're not building a 4,000 square foot house. That model sort of doesn't work anymore. Who needs that type of square footage? And we moved into, the reason Modern Shed started, we moved into a 1,500 square foot house. We thought it was actually quite big at the time, and we still live in that house. And we built the Modern Shed because it didn't have a basement or garage or an attic. And so we needed the shed to store tools. It was a very simple kind of solution. But in the course of living in what would be considered actually a small house to current standards, we realized that actually seemed like kind of a big house, and there was parts of it we didn't use. The old days where you had to have the big house and the 9-to-5 job and you had to go downtown, that's all changing. The houses are getting smaller, people aren't working downtown anymore, and you're really seeing, I think, a bigger change about how people are going to live and interact with the buildings that we are making now, and that's what Modern Shed does. We look at building green as really more of just being practical. I think that's the most important part of someone building green, building efficient structure for one, building a small structure. These are all panelized in a shop, so we pretty much use 98% of all the materials. Traditional siding is quite often done in the field where you cut and do all the painting on site. What we do is we pre-paint, pre-drill, and pre-package all of the siding so it's cut to length for the different size structures so it can grow or shrink based on the modular dimension that's needed. And the side benefit is the aesthetic, and the open joint also allows some nice flexibility for installation variances that happen. And the rain screen itself keeps literally rain off of the building by creating an exterior skin, and it also allows the building to breathe. Air travels behind the siding, and there's a waterproof layer behind that, so you get a lot of air circulation around the building, keeping it dry. And because it's done in one shop, it's done in one location, and so the build time on site is cut way down. They're well insulated, and in the long term, those are all things that actually are green versus spending 3 times the amount on a fancy floor that might be a recycled content, but what are you really getting? I think it makes more sense to build a smaller structure to heat it more efficiently instead of buying 3 water heaters that are energy compliant. Why don't you just put in one in a smaller structure? You could rent it out. Actually become something that can be money generating. How many things right now that you can do that would actually give you an income stream? And so really that's the type of flexibility I think that you could see they're going to do something in their backyard. Actually, people approach us wanting to build these in their backyard so they can rent out their house. They can get a huge amount of income from the house and then be cash positive if they build a small structure in their backyard. Then they have the flexibility to do other things they might want to do. I really like the fact that people are surprised by what they see when they come to the shed because they say, well, this isn't really a shed. And I think that really starts the thinking that for us is really important. And this gives you that chance to sort of shed the things you don't need. And it's very hard to explain that. You really have to kind of experience it. And then once you get it, you're like, oh, I got it. Oh, Modern Shed.